I'm a full trance medium and I'm a priestess of Goddess. And that's a long story. And it all began really with the death of my husband when I was very young, 22 years old. And I didn't realize what this heat was that I felt by my side. And it was actually his presence. I was a Christian girl. I was brought up Christian. I didn't know anything about spirits. I mean, nothing. And I was very shocked. I was in a lot of grief. So that's how it all began. Basically, how I see it is that the spirits had mercy on me, you know. I did a lot of praying. I believed in God. I was doing a lot of praying. I mean, I was absolutely devastated and doing a lot of deep prayer. And so what I believe happened is that Chung Fu, this ascended master, this being who hasn't been incarnated for 1500 years, well, I have a very ancient connection with him, apparently, which I learned more recently, really. And he was clearly destined to kind of pick me up, if you like, and that's how I feel. That's what it felt like. And it feels like looking back. I had my little girl who was 2 years old at the time, my beautiful little girl. And yes, together we navigated through that time. It was very, very, very deep. And what happened was that I was guided towards a medium, through a healer, through a homeopath. I was guided towards a trance medium who actually, her name's Ivy Northridge. Some of you may who are more my generation, may have known her. She was a teacher and a medium, a trance medium and a platform medium at the Spiritualist Association of Great Britain. She worked all over the world. But she was the one who brought my husband through. It was a complete shock to me to actually hear him speak to me and say to me, it wasn't my fault. And that was a very important communication, because I was full of this feeling that I'd done something terrible. And as a result of that, I hadn't loved him well enough, whatever it was. I didn't understand him well enough. And as a result of that, he'd killed himself. So that was the beginning of my, well, of the change of my spiritual life, because I definitely, excuse me, I definitely had spiritual awareness, and I was connecting especially a lot with Yeshua, with Jesus. I called Jesus, and Mary Magdalene. They were very strong with me at that time. And so they also, I'm sure, were there in that presence of spirit beings that looked after me. I actually, my family really thought I'd gone mad. I think they didn't understand what was going on, what was happening, because I was doing a lot of meditation. I was doing so much prayer. I was a lot in retreat within myself. The guide, Chung Fu, was coming through more and more, and I was learning so many things, especially about, well, actually at the beginning it was the creation of the universe. He came in from a very kind of high vantage point, and gradually over the years, he came into working with our emotional bodies, which is really what he does now. He's very much committed to help people understand what's going on emotionally in these times. And I'm sure all of you that are drawn to watch this, you are experiencing this time on earth of a particular kind of darkness. I mean, there's a beautiful darkness. There's the womb of darkness, the womb of creation, the great mother goddess. But there's also, you know, a darkness which is more kind of aptly termed some kind of bad energy, some kind of negative force, an energy that wishes no good to anyone. And that it feels that presence has been really here on earth for a very long time. A lot of people are talking about it, and Chung Fu has his own angle on that, because from his point of view, if we do this inner work, if each one takes responsibility for their own darkness, then that darkness won't kind of come out and express itself and sort of go, rah, here we are, you know, because it's a unified cosmos, it's a oneness cosmos. And so as within, so without, as above, so below. So we need to do this inner work. And it is that consciousness work of taking full responsibility for ourselves, for our emotions, for our experiences, for all our lives. I mean, it's quite a huge time for those of us kind of waking up and realizing, okay, we have this possibility to ascend, to lift up our frequency. But the price we pay for that is we have to descend. We have to actually own what is the shadow. And that is the equation. We can rise, we can ascend as much as we are willing to be brave and look at the shadow, look at what is hurting, what is, you know, really feeling very negative and very heavy. And so the work that my guide Chung Fu does is all about kind of, we call it the upside down work, because he helps us get inside, bring the higher self energy in and turn it all around and reclaim ourselves from those hidden places where we're kind of buried. Some of us, everything's buried, our love, our ability to communicate, our shining light. And indeed, a lot of work that we do is to release beautiful light workers, or they release themselves, but to help to bring tools for light workers to clear that heavy content that often is very simply the result of lives where they have literally been, you know, they've been a witch, or they've been a wizard, or they've been a shaman, and they have been shut down by a very negative power over type of external government, external forces that do not want the human soul to be able to evolve in the way that actually we're destined to do, and we're going to do anyway, and we are doing. So in this work, I offer myself as a vessel, and Chung Fu is a being who is ascended. What that means is he's not incarnated, but he comes into the astral plane, and he says, how he puts it is, he says he takes an astral incarnation so that he can come into my body and actually directly relate to people. And he is a lot of people's friend and mentor, and he's a beautiful being. What I wasn't expecting was that, you know, 20 years ago, I became a priestess of Goddess, and that was part of my personal healing work. But I wasn't expecting that the divine feminine, the goddess presence, would come right into my body in the same way that Chung Fu does. It took a few years for that very high presence to kind of find language. There was a lot of light language that was spoken for couple of years, I mean a long time. She'd come in every day and she'd make these sounds, and the energy of her presence was so strong and so literally transformative when people felt that presence. But then she also started working with mind, coming through and actually talking English to those who came forward to well, both online and physically. And so this presence of Goddess Isis has been with me now in my daily life for about 11 years. Recently, my son, who's been working with me, training with me and supporting me, and also we support each other, my daughter as well. We are a family affair, as they say. And my son talked to the guide Chung Fu and asked if there was an angel or an archangel who would work with us, because we wanted to expand everything we're doing, wanted to reach more people, and we needed more really abundance and funds to come in to support that expansion of our work. And he immediately brought in Archangel Raziel. Archangel Raziel is the keeper of the keys, the mystery keys to all things that are very difficult to understand from our conscious minds, the keys to how to lift our frequency. And so he brought many teachings through, and Chung Fu and Goddess Isis also come through in an offering that we are bringing called Prosperity Ascension. So this is where we're talking about how to lift the frequency, to really bring yourself into the frequency of abundance and prosperity. And those keys are the keys of consciousness, of how to work within ourselves to to clear what is in the way, to really lift up fully. Because, you know, sometimes we think we've lifted up, but actually our whole energy field isn't lifted right up. So the energy work of release, of opening, of downloading more from our higher self. And this is why Chung Fu has brought Archangel Raziel in, and also why we are bringing these teachings forward, because it helps you as well to feel that energy, to really feel that presence, and to absorb that frequency and then manifest it within yourself. So that is what we're bringing forward, and it would be wonderful if you could join us. We're doing a masterclass this coming Sunday, February the 16th, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time. And so do click the link, which I believe is underneath this video, to join our masterclass on Sunday. We'd love to see you. Blessings and love to you all.